life has no end.
Hello and welcome. I am coming on today to see what Spirit has to say about several things. And one of them is, well, I believe that I am the only A Course in Miracles tarot reader out there. I have been going through my own undoing of beliefs and religion, and not that I have one, but I guess I've spent the last 15 years using A Course in Miracles as my backdrop. It's been an amazing journey, but I didn't want to limit myself to just people who studied A Course in Miracles. More recently, I heard um, just to open up a dialogue that was more welcoming for everyone. And I realized what a difficult task that was going to be, because many people recently have had the courage to say to me, Ricky, why do you say the word God? You know, after everything you have shared with your tarot and your music, and then I hear you say the word God, and I just can't believe that you would still believe in a bearded man in the sky named God. And I just thought, wow, oh my God, you know, it's clear that words are twice removed, but we don't, you know, all really understand that uh, a word can mean, you know, hope and courage and help to one person, and it can mean, it can bring up a lot of anger for another. For example, the word Jesus, you know, that can bring up a lot of anger in a lot of people. So, and it also can be the most comforting symbol anyone has ever had. I recently had a concert and after was asked to take my tarot cards out. And I was connecting with a woman who was from the same town as me. And she was just so excited to talk to me. When I pulled the cards out, she got very scared and soon after left. And I don't know if I hear from her again. It's okay. It reminded me of growing up as a small child and my mom telling me that she was experiencing demons at her bedside and she was just tortured by this. So I was raised Catholic, and it's very true that these cards to me also um, at one time meant just evil, because it was what was passed down to me. If not evil, then at least it was like ridiculous palm reading. And so I know that the Spirit had me do this to come outside of my box of beliefs. It wasn't an easy thing for me to do. I just pulled up, looked at these two cards, and it's death and rebirth, and it's the moon. The moon represents the shadow or the illusions that we can't see. So for myself, I did study. I guess this video is really about how ACIM um, can be helpful, how tarot can be helpful in ACIM or in any kind of healing. We're undoing judgments and beliefs, guys. That's all we're doing here. And everything in this whole world is temporary, and it all is used for a symbol of helpfulness or not helpfulness. So we can look at everything in this world as being temporary, and the mind, the soul, is the only thing that's eternal. And all of the world can be used to help us heal or to take us further away from the truth of who we are eternally. So for myself, Spirit is using these cards for me to reach a wider audience, to be a cheerleader. I mean, my gift is talking authentically about my journey and not being afraid to share it, and sharing my experience of overcoming. It's an interesting thing to share because I am still healing layers of fear. I believe we all are, if we're in a body, but I seem to have experienced an incredible amount of trauma in my life, and fear. And I don't want to experience trauma as trauma anymore. And I know that the guidance for me is to look again at my past trauma with the spirit and see that it was actually a gift, that it was all used for me to be able to overcome the world and share that experience and help others. It's all we're here for, is to learn and grow, and then to pass on what we've learned to others. It's inspiring once we've healed to share it. And there's really no other attraction of this world at some point than to give away what you've received. So for me, the spirit kind of uses, well, I did study the cards for 3 months, 8 hours a day, just to see what their original meanings meant. And then I used everything that I had learned in spiritual community, which I lived in for 7 years and continued to kind of be connected to for years after that. So I'd say I had about 10 years in having other people help me listen and follow, until the spirit said, you're going to need to do it now on your own. Not on your own, but with the whole universe guiding you from inside your very own mind. It's time to trust yourself, Ricky. It's time to be willing to walk into your fear, walk through your fear, and grow and expand, and not be dependent on an organization or a partner. And it's not that that's for everyone. It was just my guidance. And I really heard and felt it so strongly, and am still learning to follow that and not compromise. And it's really expansive and uncomfortable at times, and also really, really joyful at times. So I guess I just wanted to come on today and say, if these readings are helpful to you, please share them. If these readings are helpful to you, like, subscribe, and share them to the ACIM community, and or anyone that you think it might be helpful for, because it grows the channel. And I literally would like to get on here every day and do a reading. It's so helpful for my mind, because I don't know what I'm saying. Like, the spirit takes over. It's a little different for me with my music. I get very scared, and I feel vulnerable, and I'm singing, and it's just, I don't know, it's just very comforting for me to do these readings. And so I'm just saying that I would like to do them more. And I would like to explain to you, as a Course in Miracles student and former teacher, why I'm still doing this. I've tried to post these in A Course in Miracle groups, and people got really upset that the cards had nothing to do with ACIM, that we're going so much deeper than that. But if you've ever watched my readings, um, I mean, my whole 15 years is based on following A Course in Miracles. So the spirit uses me and the images on the cards um, to share the energy that I'm picking up, or whatever message wants to come through from the spirit. If it resonates with you, it's cool as hell, and I love it. And I watch them for myself. So, right now I just feel like people are calling me for personal readings. I love it. I am open for them. But at the same time, I feel like people need a cheerleading section. They need almost every day reminders. And a lot of people are watching these videos secretly. And that's okay. But I'm coming out the box. I'm coming out the closet. I've already come out the closet as gay. And I used to hide that I was in love with God as well. I've come out the closet for that. I've come out the closet for these tarot, which I used to watch videos for years in community. I was hiding it. So it's like, just be who you are, and be so proud of who you are, and be, unapologetically you. We, as a whole, one mind, experiencing this earth, are going through a process of exposing the ego. And God, I'm so grateful for the path of A Course in Miracles, because I can never, ever, ever blame anyone for anything that has ever happened to me on this path, which means I also have the power within myself to overcome it and be happy. So that means I can't be bound by anyone or anything. That I actually, if I get present enough and still enough, then I have the power to relieve my own suffering, to change my beliefs, to change my mind, and to live a glorious, inspired life, which I am so grateful for in this moment. So what we're doing is we're accepting that we are responsible for the way we feel, for where our mind is, for where our bodies are in the world. We have a choice on all of it. And if we want to live a life that is truly happy, then it's follow the spirit, period. And how do we do that? We by trial and error, by doing everything we think we want, and then finding out what's really not it. If you're a Course in Miracles student, it's God's will and I are the same. And that could scare a lot of people because it sounds like there's a sacrifice. But the truth is, there is no sacrifice in God. God is totally benign, unbiased, not judgmental, loves the heck out of you. You can't do anything to stop this love. You think you're living in this world of illusions, and God's just like, have fun. I'm sorry that it's hard, but I'm here waiting. So whenever you want to come home in here, it's waiting for you. So there's nothing to fear. That's all A Course in Miracles is. It's a decision for love or fear. And all we're doing is walking each other home, which means all we're doing is reminding each other that we're eternal and not to take this life so seriously. That really, in the scope of all things, none of this little chit chat shit matters. It just doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter in the end. In the end, you won't even remember this. We're, as Rumi spoke of, we're formless and we're vibrating love. We have creations. The whole world in another dimension is just love. And yeah, it's hard to believe that when we're here. But anyway, I'm going to let the cards speak for a little while and just show you the difference. I've been speaking to you as Ricky. And now I'm going to speak to you and just let the spirit take over. It usually takes a few minutes for the spirit to take over. But I've had many people who've shown me that in my life. One of them comes to mind right now is Erin Michelle Galito. She channels Jesus, and she's just an angel on this earth. And when she channels Jesus, what comes out of her mouth is just like, you are kidding me, right? Another person that helped me on this journey to get here in this tarot world is Frances Zhu, who recently passed away. And I was really scared to do this YouTube channel, but and I didn't really hear anything from my family or from anyone that in A Course in Miracles in the beginning. And Frances just texted me out of nowhere, just saying, Ricky, I am just loving watching your new venture and all the people you are helping. And just, I have so much love for you. And she just, even though it's not something that her path followed or even talked about, she just felt me in her heart and wanted to say, God approves God approves. I'm not judging you. And so that's all of our practice. Judge not, judge not, judge not. And it's so helpful when our friends and family and people that we care about can cheer us on without judgment and know that we all have a path that looks different. It's different for all of us. So with the moon and the death and rebirth, it just says that you are having a rebirth where illusions do not run your life. So illusions are part of everyone's mind, and it's kind of like you can't really heal what you can't see. And right now, we are able to see the illusions. The veil in between the worlds is thinning. So let's see what messages want to come through. I have a card from another deck. I'm going to put it back in. Let's just see what comes through after all that was said. That's so funny. Of course, we're still in the same. So we got a lot of the same cards. Your energy is this, the moon and the empress. And we got the empress yesterday, or the last reading I did. So these are your two major arcanas, and this is your energy. Okay. So the moon and the empress talks about, there's a new world being birthed in your mind, in your life. And You're having to go into the depths of the unconscious to birth this new world, because this world cannot be born until the new world cannot be born until the deep hurt parts of our mind that have been buried in the unconscious can come up to the surface to be seen and released. And it's almost like you've been doing this work for so long that you're just allowing it. You're falling back. As you can see, the water is floating you now. And that moon is, the light is coming through the water and shining upon you. You're able now to see. And it's probably a very intense time for you with like, it's probably hard to imagine how much the ego has been running the show in your life. And all that, for it's going to be different for everyone. But for me, for example, it's just been racing doubt thoughts, sleepless nights. After 15 years of thinking I'd healed certain things, to see that I'm still a scared little girl. It's not true all the time, but right now it's coming up for another layer of washing. And as you can see, there is a need to surrender so that these things that are down there can come up. And that means you have to let go of control. It's like literally falling back into the water and allowing yourself to float all the way down to the subconscious mind and see what's been overlooked, pushed down, too hard to face. And the spirit is saying, look with me, you're not alone. Let's look together and I will reinterpret all the pain and suffering that you've ever had and not been able to release or let go of. Let me be your guide. And that's what that light is shining upon her. It's kind of like, oh, wow, I did not know that that was down there. Or I did not know that I believed that. Or, oh my God, I've been so afraid. I've been so unwilling to look. I've been blaming people who helped me. I've been wanting something and refused to admit it. There's nothing wrong with saying, hey, I'm scared, or hey, I want this, even though it's not spiritual. You're never gonna, it's gonna be, you're never gonna be able to release anything that you can't admit you have. That's what they say in Alcoholic Anonymous, right? Alcoholic Anonymous. AA, it's like admitting it is the first step. You have to admit you have a problem. So it's kind of like something ain't right. What, being willing to see, I'm not sleeping at night. I'm not at peace. Stop the show already. Give yourself 24 hours and say, I'm not moving until I see what the hell is running the show down there. You're worth it. And no one can do it for you. And forever we've had this rest and recovery card, which means there's still work to do in the subconscious. No one can do this for you. And maybe, just maybe, it would be the best thing and the most awesome feeling to actually get into the fetal position and let God reveal the truth to you and then love you up, hold you in the nest of his loving heart. Look at her face, so serene, because it is in this position and in this energy that she's like, oh my God, I can discover that I'm truly safe and loved and cared for. And, that you really want to do that while this is happening every day that and moment that you can. There is no way through it, but through it. There's no way around it, folks. It's almost like, here's your first card that came out. It's just sitting, looking out a window going, God, I want a different life, but not willing to do the work. It's never going to change until you do the inner work. So yeah, you can plan your trip around the world till the day is long. You can buy yourself the new van. You can empty out your apartment. You can give your money away. You can sell your belongings. But you have to take the step out of the door And you can't start that new world until you face what isn't feeling good in you right now. Okay, you have to give birth. So, when someone gives birth, there's 9 months of preparation. The change in everything you do, eat, everything changes. You're living for two. You can't just run out the door and expect it to take care of itself. You're being asked to choose to trust God has you. And you have to call God in to every step as you're doing this process. We're going to be going through this deep internal work for the 2 eclipses until 4 days after April 8th. And I feel like it could be a busy time, could not be, but these are just symbols. It may not be something that you're experiencing on the surface, but if you are, it's work time. It's getting very quiet with the spirit, asking to be shown the truth, and resting. And the spirit is saying, as you do this work, you're going to see all the possibilities. You're gonna be like, okay, which way do I go? This is, that's what these cards represent. What do I do? I know the news coming in. What do I do? Here's your answer. You're allowing all the subconscious emotions to come up to the surface as you give the space for it. And you're practicing being the presence as it all comes in. That's your practice, to be present with the emotions that are coming up as the truth is revealed to you, so that you can start your new journey free of the past. So, this is the King of Cups. He has mastered his emotions. No matter what comes on that ocean, it could be a tornado, it could be a hurricane, it could be a boat. He's just going to stay calm and connected and linked to the spirit. Underneath the deck, you have this Knight of Swords. So a message is coming in very quickly, or you are very quickly moving forward to jump on that motorcycle and go into a new direction. So all they're saying is once you do all this work, the 2 cards underneath the deck were success and fast movement. This is victory after challenge. Success is yours once you put the time in to yourself to heal. And you're not in charge of the healing. All you have to do is to quiet your mind as much as you can. Even if a lot of people say, I can't meditate, and that's fine. Put some music on. Look for a guided meditation. There is so much for free on the internet, on YouTube. I'm teaching myself piano on YouTube. I listen to guided meditations on YouTube. I listen to healing frequency music. It's all free. It's like you're going through a rebirth in your relationships. Trust the process. Get present. When you're with a person, ask, what is it for? How am I showing up? So that's a lot of information. I mean, I haven't even opened the other deck to clarify, but I just want to say that I can feel strongly that if you're here, the angels are just surrounding you, waiting for you to ask for help, waiting for you to get quiet for just a minute and say, I need help. I want the truth. Above all else, I want to see. Ask the spirit to look with you. We cannot get enough reminders, and you can find them here with me. Those are the messages that I have for you. I'll see you next time.
What if we're loved? What next then?